The decision to do a deal with Rwanda for offshore processing of illegal, largely young male migrants, most of whom are taking the perilous path of crossing the Channel, could well save this government. I have been advocating for this sort of deal to be done for months. In fact, last November, I warned the failure to introduce offshore processing could cost Boris Johnson his job. So I'm delighted to see he has taken the bold and humane approach announced today by the PM in Kent and Home Secretary Priti Patel in Rwanda.
We can't ask the British taxpayer to write a blank cheque to cover the costs of anyone who might want to come and live here. Uncontrolled immigration creates unmanageable demands on our NHS and on our welfare state. It overstretches our local schools, our housing and public transport, and creates unsustainable pressure to build on precious green spaces. Nor is it fair on those who are seeking to come here legally if others can bypass the system.
And the people, those who pay the evil people smugglers, get into the front of the queue, while we have people that are being left behind, women, children, families, that actually need our help and support.
So a plan, a clear plan. But do you know what Keir Starmer had today? Lots of meaningless sound bites, but absolutely no plan as to how he would stop the growing illegal migrant crisis, which saw a year-high 600 try to cross the Channel yesterday.
I think we need to see these plans for what they are. It's a desperate announcement by a Prime Minister who just wants to distract from his own law-breaking. I think it's a desperate announcement. The true aim of this is just to distract from the law-breaking of the Prime Minister. The problem with the plan today is that it is absolutely desperate.
So what's Labour's plan for immigration? How would you end the Channel crisis?
Well, we've been saying for some time that we need to have joined-up arrangements with our partners in France. We need a much better Home Office streamlining of applications. But there's no getting away from this today. This is a desperate attempt by the Prime Minister.
So he's got his lines, but he certainly has no answers. The reality is that the vast majority of those allowing the despicable people smuggling gangs to thrive arguably fit the profile of economic migrants. According to official statistics, 9 out of 10 of the 28,526 migrants who crossed the Channel in small boats last year, 10 times, by the way, the number of just 2 years ago, were men. 7 out of 10 were single. And offshore processing, while controversial, has been proven to work. It's how in 2013, Australia's government literally stopped the boat. So there were 20,000 people that year. Within 2 years, there were none. Zip, zero. Now, those young men who spend their life savings and risk their very survival to line the pockets of people smugglers, under this plan, will no longer feel they have a guarantee of a life in the UK as long as they get out of French waters alive. As a source told the Daily Telegraph, you are going to be met by the army. They will drive you to the airport and send you straight to Rwanda. That is where you are going to end up, in the hope that would be enough to deter migrants. That is why the military comes in, so you don't have battles on the quayside. Here's the reality. We already have a legal migration system. But with the illegal numbers growing exponentially and forecast to reach 6 figures a year, we cannot go on this way. Boris was right today when he said we cannot sustain a parallel illegal system. Our compassion may be infinite, but our capacity to help people is not. Those opposing the Rwanda plan will say they are compassionate and all for human rights. But what the hell is respectful of one's human rights or compassionate about allowing tens of thousands of poor souls to risk their lives across the Channel each year while encouraging a sick trade in human beings? It had to end. It has to end. The Rwanda plan should be the start of taking back control of our borders, and it cannot come soon enough.